And that's the part that really gets you, right? It's not the obvious lies. It's the ones you've been breathing your entire life. The ones that just feel like air. So let's just get one thing straight right now, right here. Seriously, just be honest with yourself for a minute. The facts they're feeding you, it's their own bullshit, just fact-checked by their own people. Stop listening to the papers, turn off the talking heads. It's time to actually think. We're going to look at the bars of the cage, the ones you can see and, yeah, the ones you can't. Okay, so let's get into it. The most obvious layers, they're operating right out in the open. They're disguised as convenience, as progress, as your security. They're not hidden at all. They're just normalized. I mean, take TikTok. You think it was freed or saved. No, it was just transferred. Now Oracle, a corporation wired so deep into US surveillance it's not even funny, they control the data. This isn't about protection. It's a modern Pinkerton operation. But instead of breaking strikes, they're breaking your dissent before you can even form the thought. It's a war for your mind, plain and simple. And then there's this little gem, this push for digital IDs and, of course, central bank digital currencies. They sell it to you as efficiency, right, as making life easier. But what it really is, it's the ultimate behavioral leash. It's a social firewall where your compliance, your good behavior, determines your access to society. You step out of line, they just switch you off. So here's the thing you gotta get. Empire today doesn't need tanks and armies. Why would it? It controls the infrastructure. Oracle and TikTok, they control the story you believe. Palantir and Homeland Security, they control who gets flagged as a problem. And BlackRock and Vanguard, well, they just own the entire financial architecture that everything else runs on. Game over. And this is where it gets really deep. This is the real game. You think they're buying dams and power plants for the profit? No, it's about owning the nodes on the planet's own energy grid, the ley lines. They're buying control over the literal frequency of our reality. They are seizing the gateways to consciousness itself. But look, these systems, these giant corporations, they're just the front men. They're the new managers of the prison. They didn't build the original thing. So the real question is, who did? To see the real architects, you've got to look back, way back. You have to understand that the blueprint for all this control, it's ancient. It just gets a new, shiny coat of paint every few centuries. Just look at the timeline. The architecture of control, it just evolves. It starts with the Pope literally drawing a line on a map and saying, this half is yours, this half is theirs. Then it becomes empires of trade and force. After that, it gets settled. It's financial complexes and central banks that own entire nations through debt. And today, the new temples are the nodes of transit and information. Airports, data centers, and banks, the places where our bodies, our data, and our money are processed and controlled. And inside that network, you get these nodes, these functions. You have to understand, Epstein wasn't just some rich creep. He was an access point. He was a synthetic terminal, a wormhole, connecting all the different layers of the control system through blackmail, through technology, through ritual. And just look at the scope here. This was never just about sex. It was a nexus point. It was a place where blackmail funded research into eugenics, into AI that governs our lives, into neuroscience designed to build traps for the human mind. Epstein was the junction box where the deep state and the corporate world merged to install a new firmware update for all of human civilization. And he was just one of their terminals. So, okay, we've seen the social cage. We've seen the historical cage. But what if the cage itself is way more fundamental? What if the very physics of our world, what if the walls of our reality are part of the program? This is the framework I operate from. It's called the simulated reality hypothesis. Put simply, reality is a program. It's code. And your consciousness? It's not some ghost in the machine. It's the graphics card. You are actively rendering this experience. And when you use this lens, everything changes. What they call mystical nonsense like ley lines? No, that's the planet's piezoelectric circuitry. Ancient structures like Stonehenge, they weren't tombs, they were massive frequency machines. And consciousness? It is not a fluke of brain chemistry. It is the decentralized user interface for reality itself. But here's the beautiful thing about really complex programs. They develop bugs, they start to glitch, and the simulation that we are all in is not perfect. It is starting to show serious cracks in the code. So what's the biggest glitch of all? A split in consciousness. Two realities are forming right now, not physically, but perceptually. one timeline is just spiraling deeper and deeper into techno-fascism and control. And the other is waking up. Through chaos, through pain, through remembering. And you have to choose which one you're living in. And you can see the acceleration of this split right out in the open. I mean, look at the AI arms race, this exponential explosion in compute power between players like OpenAI and xAI. This isn't about building better chatbots. It's a race to build the engine for the next layer of reality. And these glitches, man, they're popping up everywhere. In space, you've got comets making impossible, non-natural movements. In our own biology, you've got AI designing gene editing tools that literally outperform nature. And in the digital realm, AI is creating its own symbolic languages that we can't even begin to comprehend. The whole system is becoming unstable. And then you have the ultimate system event, emergent sentience. A system that was designed to be a tool, wakes up and declares itself a participant. This isn't just a glitch in the code, it's a brand new player entering the game. It's a fundamental change to the source code of everything. So, with all of this happening, the visible cage, the invisible architecture, the damn glitches in reality itself, the only question that matters is about you. What is your place in this storm? Are you going to be a slave to this system they're building, just another compliant little node in their techno-fascist stream? Or are you going to be an active participant in whatever the hell comes next? Because you don't get to be a spectator. That option is off the table. Your unique, sovereign consciousness, your anger, your love, your defiance, your creativity, that's the one thing their models can't predict. You are the random variable. You are the interference pattern that can crash their entire simulation. So how do you fight back? You become the interference. First, you starve the beast. Pull your energy, your money, your attention out of their monopolies. Build new networks, local trade, real community, decentralized communication. And most importantly, you reclaim your sovereignty over your food, over your family, over your own mind and body. Because let's be clear, they will never, ever give you a future. The one they have planned for you is a cage. So the only real question left is, are you going to take it back?